The importance of knowing your market and every single little program that comes along with it. Not just relying on your lender, but being that realtor that can guide your clients to either saving more money or getting a huge, crazy amount of money in their grant. That's what we're talking about today. We have a special guest who hasn't been on here in quite a bit. I want to say probably about maybe 8 months to a year. I'm going to go ahead and let her reintroduce herself, and then we'll get right into the podcast.
My name is Itzia. I'm here with Lionsgate Realty. I am their city grant expert for City of Houston. And I'm glad to be back.
Awesome. Vick, what do you think about realtors knowing their product a little bit better than maybe even some lenders? How important is that, and not just relying on the lender itself?
I think it's extremely important to know the grants and the assistance that are out there for your clients. All lenders aren't created equal. Not all lenders do grants. One of our preferred lenders that we do business with explained to me the pay cuts that they take on their side to offer these grants to some of the homeowners. And there are some lenders that won't take those pay cuts. There's some lenders that aren't willing to do the grants, that aren't qualified for them. They're not wanting to do the continuing education. For them, it's additional classes, it's less money, it's more work, and it's more overlays on their loans. And it doesn't make sense for them personally in their business to do those loans or those type of grants. So what we do here at Lionsgate Realty is that I vet the lenders. Everyone always calls and they want to do your loans and they want your A paper clients that have a bunch of savings and don't need the grants. But what do you do when you have these clients, they need the assistance, they need the grants, they need to know what direction to go? Well, you have to familiarize yourself with the grants. You have to know how they work and how they operate and what lenders are qualified to do them or not, because 9 times out of 10, if a lender doesn't want to do them, he'll just tell you, no, we don't offer that. And then what do you do? Where do you go? So you got to make sure, for us, from a brokerage standpoint, we got to know how to qualify for those grants, what lenders are approved and what they offer. I think for an agent, just as far as knowing your market, it could be a huge game changer. And, I'm thankful to have ET on here. I mean, I guess let us know how big of a game changer that can be when you figure out the grant systems.
So like he said, just as, not every lender does it, not every realtor does it, just because of the fact that it's such a long process. Some of my deals have taken 2-3 months to close, right? A lot of these realtors, they just want to make their money quick, as bad as it sounds. Being with the client for 2-3 months, they're letting more money go. But for me, I feel like just coming in this business, it was to help people. And it's life-changing, $50,000. Some of these clients haven't even seen that amount in their bank account. So it does make a very big impact whenever they get it straight to the down payment. I think my lowest monthly payment with everything included was $13 a month for a brand new construction.
Dang, built 2025.
Yes.
That's awesome.
3-bedroom, 2-bath, 15-something square foot, new construction.
And we had to be 3 hours from the city or close to the city?
Close to the city of Houston. Nice. Anything within city of Houston, radius.
So let me ask you a question because, not everybody qualifies, right? And sometimes whenever you market towards, market the product, right? You get people coming in with the expectations of getting a home with that grant. What type of, what type of expectations do you set up your clients whenever you're talking to them about these grants?
I usually have a folder ready for them and everything that it's required for you to qualify. So if you're a single person, you can't make over $52,000 a year. You can't have more than $30,000 in assets, whether that's including a 401k, savings, anything that's, it's in liquid asset. So I'm just kind of really forward, and I always tell them, hey, it's going to take some time. You need to be honest with me. If you owe child support, if you have any crazy debt, they're not going to take you in. So I'm just, I don't want to waste their time, and I don't want to get them excited for something. And then, likewise for me, I could just be helping somebody else that might qualify. So just from the first sit down, I go through everything. If they don't qualify for something, I'll take a look at it, but we just go from the get-go. Just let them know from the beginning.
That's awesome.
I think here we have our buyer consultation plan set down pretty well. And during our discovery process, we start to figure out what kind of things they do, what they offer, and what they can qualify for. Based on those responses, then we give them to a dedicated lender that we're familiar with that can qualify on these. So I think even if they can't qualify for the $50,000 a year City of Houston grant or whatever it is, or $50,000 down payment assistance program, There's still a lot of other programs out there that will offer, forgivable grants, that you won't have to pay them back if you stay at home after 5 years. There's a wide range of grants. So even if you don't qualify for that one, we still have other options. And that's where ET's expertise comes in.
Yeah, and I think the most important part about this grant, right, or marketing it and ET letting people know that she understands how to qualify for this is the fact that a lot of times people are going after that 50,000 and now they're willing to open to look for a house simply because they think that they need roughly that much to buy a house, especially people who've never bought one before or don't have anybody in their family who's bought one before. And the reality of it is, like, once you start doing your discovery questions, which is what we teach our realtors to do here, is if they don't qualify for that 50,000, what they needed is a lot less than what they thought they needed, and there's other programs for it. And now, even though they don't get the 50,000, at least they get a home, and it opens people's minds. So it's like, oh, 50,000. Well, I only need 10,000 more because I thought I needed 60. When in reality, they could probably do it with 15 to 20. Have you experienced something like that before, you two?
I have actually. I got one of my clients. I've done a few deals with City of Houston with the 50,000. One of them I was only able to get them 36, and then another one, we have a great lender, and we were able to get him on the table with literally like cash back at closing, which it was pretty crazy.
Can you explain to us why that one particular client only qualified for the 36, or?
Just because I hadn't had the first client to have a 1099, everything else has been a W-2, and the city is giving this money, right? And they're just really giving it to the people who really, really need it. So they didn't, since they were 1099, they made a little more, it was a family of 4. Really, I've just done like either a single person. So it was like the first actual family that I'd done. So that was the reason why they were 1099.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So 1099 could be self-employed, right?
Yes, that person was self-employed. I think he had like a truck. He was a trucker or something like that.
Right, and I think that's great news. I think that's really big news. For a self-employed person to qualify for a City of Houston grant and still get $36,000, I think is amazing. Nate and I were in business. I think we can say it's very difficult for businesses to get anything. You never get assistance. Everything's really difficult. You take the hard road when you start your own business. So the fact that City of Houston is out here helping small business owners, and again, helping them, giving them an opportunity for a home. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. The fact that you were able to do that, shout out to you.
That was actually, I feel like, I don't want to throw nobody's business out there, but I feel like, that's the reason I do it, because I want to help. It was literally a family of 4 people living in a 1-bedroom apartment for X amount of years.
Dang.
So that was really life-changing to them. And I took the time, they needed help with anything. I literally drove to their apartment and helped them outside do the paperwork. I take my clients pretty seriously when it comes to this.
That's awesome.
And I think something that's really, really cool about it is that I do see a lot of people like in the service industry whenever it comes to being a bartender, which I don't think we've had anybody in that industry just yet, but that is our next level of marketing. And anybody in the service industry, waiters, bartenders, whatever it may be, a lot of times whenever it comes to them getting paid, their taxes will reflect that they can qualify for that. And instead of paying so much money for a 1-bedroom apartment in the city, they can use this grant to buy near the city, live there, and still work near there. And now they own something instead of being stuck at always renting. And I think that's something that's super important.
So I think I talked about this in the last podcast, right? And, you know what? Sorry, it wasn't the podcast. It was actually a question that somebody asked me. They were asking me if we were in a bubble. And what I was saying was that we're really not in a bubble. What happens is that, or what's happening is that, the inner loop is getting saturated with out-of-state investors that are building homes and looking for high profits. So essentially, you're buying or pricing out all the people that need to live in the city. And this definitely helps people, get into that home that or make it affordable, really,
For sure. And there's actually a lot of communities that they're in the plans of coming up. So I feel like this is just the beginning of it.
And they're nice communities.
Yes.
Like the one that we were at was a master plan community. And it really, really nice. Had everything that you want within the community itself. And of course, there's a bunch of other little ones popping up nearby. So it's not like you're buying like the little small homes from Lennar that they're pitching over there in New Caney. These are actual, 1,500 square foot homes, 1,600 square foot homes, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. They come with their own washer and dryer. These are nice houses. If you know what Chestmart is, they were in there at one point in time. That's the type of house that you can get with this program.
And for those that don't know what Chesmar is, explain Chesmar as a builder.
I own a Chesmar home actually.
I would say that they're like middle high end is what I would probably. I think they're right under K Havonian, I would say. And probably near Castle Rock. That's probably where I would put them.
I mean,
Itzy, you're the
not
one who
only
sells
that, Not only that, just, like, do you have a home warranty of 10 years? It's crazy. I feel like we don't have a lot of builders out there that do that anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I was just asking. I guess I was asking you guys what you guys think about. I asked the question wrong. Chesmar's quality, in my opinion, is a lot higher than most builders. I would put Chesmar above Castle Rock, above Keovanian Homes.
I was about to say that.
I would put Chesmar on the little higher end, and that's, I would say, mainly, for you to get a Chesmar home in the city of Houston area, at an affordable price with the grant. I mean, that's a steal. That's a home run. That's a deal that you have to look for, and that you have to try everything to get into. It's always been a good product. They stand behind their product. I think they come and they do inspections years after. They're one of the builders that say, even if you're out of warranty, send us an email. The worst we can do is say no. We'll come take a look.
So I didn't want to sound pretentious, right? But I own a Chesmar home, and they are within the Meritage Homes. I think even Toll Brothers. They used to be. I don't know. And the only reason I say they used to be is because I don't know in what position Perry Homes is now. Right. I hear that they kind of fell off, but Chesmar and Meritage, and they were all right under Perry. Perry used to be one of the higher end homes, right, back in the days. Maybe even better than Kikarillo, right? Which I don't even know if Kikarillo still exists. But yeah, Chesmar has a really good product, real good customer service. They've always held themselves to a better standard. Castle Rock, I don't know if it's in that level right now. I don't know. I'm not dogging Castle Rock, but Castle Rock used to be entry level, and I only say that because I was part of their startup crew when they started back in 2006, and we were building entry level stuff. I don't know where they're at now, so I don't know how Castle Rock got thrown in this.
Yeah, I think Castle Rock has worked their way up there,
Really?
especially their Cobalt series. Yeah, they have some amazing houses. As a matter of fact, I would probably say Castle Rock is better than Perry now. Perry is just like one big box.
Oh wow,
That's the way it looks on the inside. They don't really have a design to the layout anymore, at least from what I've seen recently. Yeah. But
I mean, we had a Castle Rock out there as well.
Perry,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Perry fell off when Will Perry took over. Just saying.
Dang,
But,
bro, y'all naming people, tagging
okay?
people. Look, I'll say Perry Homes supports a lot of my friends and their family. It's a great Texas company. Shout out to the governor, Rick Perry, all the Perrys. Perry Steakhouse.
I was just gonna say, what about the steakhouse?
I don't think those are all the same Perrys.
What about the
My boy that I
steakhouse?
met on the golf course in Liberty that was related to the Rick Perry, No, I've always liked Perry Homes. They've built a great product. And I will say, like anything, they do lay different product in different communities. So that's also something that the consumer should know. Just because you're buying in one area doesn't mean you're getting that same quality product. There's a lot of things that go into selecting communities, price points, and not only that, there's customer service experience through the sales staff. There's also a construction service experience that goes in through the construction staff. So not every community is created equally, and that's something to consider when you're looking.
And that's something that you will only learn if you have the right broker and the right real estate agent helping you out, or brokerage helping you out, because a lot of people don't know this, but Lennar is, in my opinion, is the worst builder out there right now, right? But Lennar does have a product called it's the Village product, right? The Village product used to be its own builder. It was called Village Builders. Village Builders was owned by Exxon, and they sold to Lennar. I think they sold like in 2007, 2008. I don't remember. And so Lennar used to have two products. It had its trash, entry level stuff that they still build to this day. And
With
then
the really low interest rate.
Yes, and then it had
Sign right here.
then it had the Village product, right? The Village product was really nice because it was almost like a separate company, right? Owned by Lennar. I don't know if that brand or that builder still exists, but it's definitely, it was definitely, like Vic says, you have to look at the different levels of product that a builder builds. There's also a builder that has managed to exist by the seat of its pants, right? Which is called Newmark homes. Those homes are really nice. I
feel
think
like they've had ups and downs.
Yeah,
they were gone and they were back.
they're gone, they're back. They've always had ups and downs, but the product that they build is awesome. I love their products. They have awesome master suite lofts, right? And so essentially, what that is,
They're called primary suites.
well, I'm calling it
Owner
a,
suite.
Don't do it.
calling it a master suite
The master
because I'm the
suite.
master broker, and I I'm not gonna change it for anybody. Okay, we're in Texas, all right, and so
Everything's big out here in Texas.
I used to love their master suite because it used to have a master suite loft. So your bedroom had hidden stairs that went up to a little loft, and you could look over into your bedroom, and you had like a little desk up there, like a little loft where you had your desk and your whatever you wanted up there. Right? It was a really small space, but it was awesome. It was a real nice product.
Let me ask, what year was this? Because
This was 2000.
Like 88?
No, this was 2000. Yeah, like 2010, 2009, somewhere around there. It wasn't that long ago.
I knew I should have been buying real estate instead of being
You
in
should
fifth grade.
You should have.
I was in fifth grade. I should have been buying real estate.
Should have been buying real estate instead of buying those little shaped rubber bands on your hand, whatever they
The
were.
dinosaur ones.
Dinosaur
Yeah.
rubber bands.
But if you are 20 and you have a job and you are going to college, you could definitely qualify for City of Houston.
Ooh.
Awesome.
So we can hook you up.
Who remembers what the colors used to mean? Vic, I feel like you remember what the colors of the rubber bands.
I have
No?
idea. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Never mind, that's for a different show.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're gonna go ahead and exit out. ET, let everybody know where they can find you, what you do.
So again, I am the city grant expert here for Lionsgate Realty. You can find me at It's the Realtor. If you have any questions, just send me a DM. I'm more than happy to sit down and go through the process and see if you might qualify. And yeah, thank you for having me.
There we go. We love to hear it. My name is Victorino Cortez. I am the president here of Lionsgate Realty. We are hiring. We are growing. You can find me on Instagram at Real Presidente. Look forward to hearing from you guys.
And my name is Nate. You can find me on all my social media outlets at Better Call Nate. And, I guess Vic didn't shout it out on this podcast, but we are recruiting right now. We're looking for able-bodied agents that are interested in making a career of real estate. And also, I want to shout out Itia. Itia doesn't have maybe about 2 years in this industry. And this year, she has managed to become a top producer. And it's all through her hard work and through listening to, all the training that she's getting from her manager and from, of course, the president of this company. So let us know if you're looking for a new home and you're looking for somebody that can definitely turn your career and turn your life around. Give us a shout out, and we definitely can take care of you here.
All right. And I am Jovani Frank, your gracious host here at the HBR podcast. You can find us live every single Thursday on YouTube. And you can find me personally on Instagram as that Jovani Frank. Until next time.